This is a porcini mushroom bean-Otto. It's amazing, trust me. Oh my God, that just smells absolutely incredible. It's a mushroom and bean marriage in a dish. The smells coming off it, I can't tell you, are amazing. Oh, yes. Oh my God. It is comfort food in a bowl, and I think you're gonna love it. Yum. We are making a bean-Otto. Yes, that's a rice risotto, but made with beans, so it's a bean-Otto. And I love making this with cannellini beans. Basically a small white bean that kind of mimics the whole texture of rice. And today we're making a porcini mushroom risotto. I love porcini because it has this rich flavor and the stock just kind of filters into the rest of the dish, and it's so fragrant and delicious. First things first, before you start doing anything, you need to top up the porcini with boiling water to get that all brewing. There's a real earthiness that's coming off that. So while that is brewing away, we're gonna prep the rest of the ingredients. So we've got some onions, some mushrooms, some thyme, and all we're gonna do is chop up some of these mushrooms. I really like dry frying the mushrooms, and that's because all of the water from the mushrooms gets evaporated and you just get left with a really good texture. Nice and hot. There we go. So I'm gonna chuck them in here, just as they are, no oil. So the great thing about Bean-Otto is that it is, once again, one of those things where you can take the concept of a risotto and find a way to include beans in it. So it's actually quicker than a risotto, which a lot of people don't realise. And once they do, they can't go back because it really is an easy, nourishing dish that makes you feel really great. Now, it's key to cook the mushrooms in batches. If you overcrowd the pan, then all of the water that's being produced will just kind of sweat in the mushrooms. So as you can tell, I've only got a handful of the mushrooms in there, and that is just a really key part of creating that lovely texture on the mushroom. All of the mushrooms are now in the pan. They're all lovely and golden, and I'm just gonna add a big old knob of butter. There we go. Straight in. Okay, so now I'm gonna add the onions and the thyme. So you really just want the onions to soften at this point. You don't want them to fry, and this is just the start of a risotto. At this point, you might add your risotto rice, your white wine, and start building up the stock, but we're doing things differently because this is a bean-Otto. Here I've just got some shop-bought breadcrumbs, which obviously you can make your own if you've got some stale bread lying around, or you can buy them like this. It's very easy. And the reason why we've got breadcrumbs in a bean-Otto is because I really love that kind of crunchy texture. Sprinkle them in. Now is about the time when I'm gonna add the garlic. So I'm gonna whack up the heat because the next thing to go in is the wine. And you really want that wine to hit the pan and just deglaze the bottom full of all of the sticky bits and start to reduce. So the white wine has all reduced now. So we come from our golden nectar of porcini stock and porcini mushrooms. It's amazing, trust me. Often when you smell it, you're like, oh God, do I want to put that in? You really do want to put it in. I'm going to put it all in, and it's going to reduce by half at least. The smell that is coming from this stage right here is just incredible. It's so rich and so mushroomy, and all of that comes from that porcini, that dried porcini, which is fundamental to this dish. You've got to have it. So I'm just spooning these in their lovely beanstalk, which should never go to waste. White beans or cannellini beans are one of the starchiest of our beans, and that means that their stock can sometimes turn into a gel, but really it's nothing to be scared of. It's actually something you should be excited about, particularly when it comes to a bean-Otto, where you really want that kind of sticky, stocky starchiness, which makes the dish come together. Just to finish the dish off, I'm adding a big knob of butter. And that's just gonna melt through and make it really glossy and delicious. I grated some Parmesan earlier, so I'm just gonna put that in as well and fold through that butter and Parmesan. Oh my God. I don't think you can go wrong with extra Parmesan. That just smells absolutely incredible. It's silky, there's a real shine to it, and the mushroom is just, it is the star along with the beans. It's like a mushroom and bean marriage in a dish. This is proper comfort food. Look at that. I'm just gonna finish it off with a lovely grind of black pepper. God, this looks so good. The smells coming off it, I can't tell you, are amazing. It just smells like comfort. Oh my God, it really does. I think that's about all I'm gonna have, but I'm gonna top it with breadcrumbs, which is crucial for me because I love that texture and that bite. Oh yes, that is the crunch factor. You can just tell it's gonna be good. And I'm just gonna get stuck in, wow. Oh my God. That is so delicious. The richness of the porcini comes through and you got the white wine and then the crunch of the breadcrumbs, and then those beans are just kind of everywhere, giving a kind of silky, savory starchiness, which just makes it feel like a really, really good Bean-Otto, which is what it is. Yum.